TVC News at 7. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. We'll begin in Rivers State, where the Chief Justice Chibuzo Simon Amadi has declined a request by the State House of Assembly to constitute a 7-member panel to investigate allegations of gross misconduct leveled against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu. Justice Amadi cited 2 existing court orders restraining him from appointing the panel. He further noted that the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Zamewule, has already filed an appeal against the orders at the Court of Appeal. Let's bring in former Attorney General of Oyo State, Mutalib Adebayo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who joins me on the news this hour. Thank you for your time. As Chief Judge, would you say that Justice Amadi in this case have any discretion at all under Section 188 of the Constitution once the House of Assembly writes him, or do the existing court orders legally freeze his powers until they're vacated or set aside?
Thank you for having me. We are operating a constitutional democracy in Nigeria. And under the constitutional democracy, we have 3 arms of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Each arm of government has its own role to play, although while they must work independently of each other, they should also work cooperatively. The Parliament, the Rivers State Assembly, has done its bit by sending the notice to the governor and also asked the CJ to constitute a 7-man panel of inquiry to investigate the allegation against the governor Fubara. But as it is now, there are court orders, 2, even 1 is enough. And since there are an existing such court order which has been served on the Chief Judge, the rule of law dictates that and enjoins compulsively the Chief Judge to take action in obedience to the restraining order got from the High Court of Rivers State. So there is nothing new or nothing untoward about what has happened in Rivers State. In fact, the Chief Judge acted in fidelity and obedience to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because acting otherwise, the Chief Judge will be in contempt of Court of Competent Jurisdiction. I salute the decision of the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Amadi. He has done well, as expected of a jury that what is onion in this matter.
How then do you respond to critics who argue that the judiciary is now stalling a purely legislative impeachment process and that it's an overreach into legislative territory?
Those people are being political. If they are loyal, they be politicized. No, this matter, the issue involved now is constitutional and legal issue. So it is not political. Although it may arise from political issue, but it has now left the realm of politics to move into adjudicature. And a court of competition has issued an order. And that order has been served on the Chief Judge. I don't even know whether the Chief Judge is even a part of that suit. No matter the case, the Chief Judge must act in obedience to that order of court. Be the head of the judiciary. Even if it's not the head of the judiciary, any person who has been served with a court order directed against it must comply with that court order. And good enough, the Parliament has taken the appropriate step in this matter too by proceeding on appeal to appeal against the order restraining them from proceeding with the impeachment against the governor. Which is also their constitutional right. But in that wise, in so which we find ourselves now, the CJ cannot empanel any commission of any panel to investigate the chief to investigate the governor in view of that order that emanated from a court of competent jurisdiction.
What do you think?
It is not for the CJ to decide whether that order is right or wrong.
Indeed.
It is not for the Chief Judge. He cannot choose and pick. You get my point?
So I get
it is only that court that gave the order that can set aside upon being so reason why that order cannot stand. Or you proceed on appeal, and the Court of Appeal can set aside that order. So that's just it. The Chief Judge is in order, and we must commend him for taking that courageous stand alone in this matter.
What does this mean for impeachment processes nationwide? Are we likely, is it now a natural path that it goes rather through the judiciary before it gets back to the House of Assembly, where the impeachment process can now kickstart in earnest?
You see, each arm of government cannot prevent the other from working or from functioning. And you see, judiciary is the last hope of common man. It is the arbiter or the adjudicator of dispute between persons and individuals within any state of the country, between persons and the state government or federal government, and even between the state and state, and also between state and federal government. So what happened is not, it is not new. I was one of the counsel in the impeachment proceeding against Governor Lucky that were of Ondo State, when he was deputy governor to the late Governor SAN. I represented the chief judge of Ondo State in that case. And through the governor, the chief judge, and the parliament to the federal court in Abuja, and none of this decision that was made. We tried to go out of that order, but it was not possible. So it is there's nothing new in what has happened in the Rivers State. Let them go and sort it out. First, they have two options. They can approach the court that issued the order for a discharge of that order and for that court to set aside. Or alternatively, they can proceed an appeal, as the speaker, Mr. Martins Amiguli, has done for Court of Appeal, to look at that order and decide whether the order can stand or not. If the Court of Appeal agrees with the Parliament, it will set aside the order, and the impeachment procedure can continue. But if not, if it is affirmed, then they can even go further and go to Supreme Court. That's the rule of law, because we are rule of law in operation, because we are in a constitutional democracy. We are in a constitutional democracy. We must at all times, all of us, be individual, being government, being body, being agency, even being the federal government, must act in fidelity to the dictate of the rule of law. Because nobody is above the law. We are all equal before the law.
All eyes on the Court of Appeal. It seems that Governor Fubara has a breather from the impeachment notice as we speak. Former Attorney General of Oyo State, Senior Advocate Adebayo, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.